welcome to this edition of the Watch Along on your favorite YouTube channel, the Premier Sport Fan Center. On the menu this evening is the game between Brighton and Liverpool. Uh, um, Liverpool are the confirmed champions of the Premier League, and Brighton are just playing for pride because they have nothing they are fighting for any longer, because the eighth spot that might have gone to Europe has gone to Crystal Palace because they they won the FA Cup 1-0 this last weekend against Manchester City right there. The goal was scored by Berchese, and it was an exciting one for the club to win their first ever trophy after existing over 100 years right there. So my name is Avalon Adeyemi, and here with me in the studio today is Paulo. Paulo, how you there?
Yeah, I'm very fine, very okay. Excited to be here once again, and like you said earlier on, Liverpool are already the champion. But I think Brighton, they still have something to play for. They can still get the Conference League based on the permutations. It depends on how Chelsea if Chelsea wins the Conference League and at the same time make the Champions League, there's a possibility the team in 8th position might make it. So I don't think it's all over for Brighton. But I still think they still have something to play for.
Yeah, so it is game on in that encounter. Brighton at home today to Liverpool. And Liverpool, the champions of the 2024-2025 season right here. They just lost Trent Alexander-Arnold, who says he won't be renewing his contract, and he will be leaving at the end of the season. And he's on the bench today because he has to fulfill his contract obligation right there. And the body coach chose not to put him in this setup. So Brighton started with a 4-2-3-1 formation right there, with Verbruggen in goal, Estupinan, Webster, Van Eyck, and Wefa are the defenders playing behind Ayari Baleba. I'm talking about Baleba this season. It seems he's one of those revelations of the season for Brighton.
Yeah, he has actually stepped up for Brighton. Taking helping Brighton to, at a time there was a time they were even I think in the top 4 before they started losing matches. But I think Baleba has been one of their best players in this season.
Yeah, so Baleba playing behind Adingra, Gruther, and Minte. Playing behind Welbeck up front. So it's a 4-2-3-1 formation. Liverpool on the attack right there, and Salah cuts into the and he shoots.
Ooh.
Oh, his shot was saved by Verbruggen right there. Look at how what is this?
I think is there a foul there? There's a contact there. That should be a penalty. I think the VAR
there's
should.
a contact there.
There's a contact there, unless the
But
VAR.
I think that contact is not strong enough to give a penalty.
I don't think so. I think that should be a penalty. If you can give Manchester City, we saw the penalty they gave Manchester City against Crystal Palace. I don't think that should have even been a penalty in the first place. So this one should have also been. That's the issue with the refereeing, the double standard in the league.
Not consistent with decision making either. So Liverpool started with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Alisson in goal, Shimishkas, Konate, Kwanzaa, Bradley playing behind. Liverpool has a chance and a pass, and Liverpool has the lead. Elliott has allotted the ball into the back of the net. And yeah, the Reds are celebrating right now. Oh, the mood in that city will be awesome. Yeah, the fans are celebrating, jubilating. Look at that vision for Zobo's. Set it straight. Mo Salah with a flick on, and the way um
I think that should be Bradley. The pass from Bradley there.
I think that should be look at that touch from Salah.
Yeah, and the assist from Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley with the assist right there to set up
Harvey Elliott.
Elliot right there for that one.
Yeah, that was a fantastic goal. Well worked goal from Liverpool from I think the ball from the central defender to find the Mo Salah who dropped the pass for
From Zobo's the midfielder.
rather to Mo Salah to Bradley and then the finish from Elliot. That was a fantastic piece of play from Liverpool.
So Zobo's Gravenberch playing behind Salah, Elliot, Gakpo, and up front is Federico Chiesa. Now the coach tilting towards a first nine on this one.
Yeah, and for a while now, I don't think it was they didn't actually treat towards the first nine because there's Gakpo there who can play as the number 9. And talking about Liverpool having a striker on the bench, Darwin Nunes, for a while he has not been starting games, and I will even be surprised if he still remain at Liverpool next season.
Yeah, you hear that clubs from Saudi
Yeah.
are showing interest.
So and I think for Liverpool, whatever the outcome of today's games, I don't think it's going to affect their position on the log. They're already the champion already, so it's this opportunity for the manager to give some players like Simi. You could see Timikas on the starting lineup. There's also Chiesa who hardly plays for Liverpool. So it's just about giving other people that have not played a lot of game this season the opportunity to
Have game
play.
So corner kick taken, headed out by Liverpool defender, and the follow-up shot went way off target right there. So Liverpool leading 1-0 in this one. Your prediction for this game?
Well, I think Liverpool will definitely win. Although it might not be, Brighton might also get a goal, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough one. But I see Liverpool winning, and you could see the replay of that, penalty shot incident earlier. I still think if that should have even be a penalty to me because
VAR would have communicated to you.
I understand. I understand. They've checked it and said there's no penalty, but VAR also checked the penalty awarded to Man City, and they said that's the penalty. To be honest, I was shocked. When they announced that was to be a penalty. To me, that shouldn't have even be a penalty. I was though I had to look at it. Maybe they are trying to compensate Manchester City, because of the handball. The goalkeeper, talking about in Henderson, he actually, he used his hand to kick the ball away outside the box 18. That should have been a red card. But the VAR. So I don't know what they were thinking that day.
And I think Crystal Palace was 1-0 up at that point.
Yeah, and that could have been the turning point.
Yeah, it could be a serious turning point. So, these things, it keeps happening in the English game. We just hope that as soon as possible, we don't get to be. But it's football. Human error is always human error.
But I don't think that should be an human error. If it were those days when there was no VAR, I agree. But you stop the game for like 2-3 minutes to check, and at the same time you come up with the wrong decision. It's very bad. To me, the Crystal Palace goalkeeper should have been sent off because it was very obvious. If he hadn't touched the ball, Eliana would have scored. But he used his hand there, and they said no red card. But the penalty given to Manchester City to me shouldn't have stood.
So throwing to Brighton, UEFA, we send this one straight to his teammates. He turns it back to him. And Salah will try to steal this one. But that was a good tackle from the Brighton player. And they cross into the box. And Alisson to the rescue. And he grabs that one easily right there. So looking at this encounter so far, Don't you think if this would have come when points was needed, do you think this would be the way they will approach the game?
Talking about Liverpool, no, I don't
Both
think. But
teams.
I think for
You can
Brighton,
start with Liverpool.
yeah, for Liverpool, I don't think this is how they would approach it, because you could see that about 4 to 5 players that might not start this game. Talking about from Kwanzaa, look at the defense. Apart from Virgil van Dijk, yeah, I think Virgil van Dijk. No, I mean, what's his name now again? Apart from, let me just confirm. I think, apart from, what's his name? The guy from France, Ibrahima Konate. Looking at the defense, I don't think any other player would have, start
At the
at the
defense.
defense. Yeah. So,
Well, Alisson started.
no,
He's also a defender.
no, apart from the goalkeeper,
Mm.
the defenders there, the foreman at the
But there
back
has
there.
been games whereby Kwanzaa has played this season, has started this
I,
season.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say, if they hadn't won the league, and if this game is also part of the decider, you won't say what's his name, the captain will not be on the bench, Virgil van Dijk, same as Trent Alexander-Arnold, including Robertson, they are all on the bench. And looking at the midfield also,
But there has been some games where Shimishkas has started this season, even with Robertson available.
it depends your position also.
Yeah, that's why I say, this is Brighton. Brighton, this is not Man City.
But Brighton are also a very good team. They're one of those teams that usually give Liverpool, tough time.
And look at that cross. A teasing ball into the box.
Liverpool just have to be very careful in this game with their markings, because I think about I've seen about 2 times now that
There's been a
the-
shout in
yeah.
the box.
so they need to be very careful.
Yeah, so you heard him. He said Liverpool needs to be careful at this point in time. So Verbruggen with the ball right now. Side it straight to his teammate. Returns it back to Verbruggen. And yes, we'll send that one forward. Try to pick the run of Adingra. But that will go out for a throw in to Brighton and Wolves Albion right there. You can see the young coach. At this age, some guys are still playing football.
Yeah, I think there are about 3 or 4 players that in that Brighton team that in terms of age, the senior, the manager there, and they're talking about the likes of Daniel Welbeck, I think the captain also, and about 1 or 2 other players also there. So good one for him. He's currently the youngest manager
In the Premier
in
League.
the Premier League, and even in the probably in the Europe top 5 league. Apart from, I don't know if the guy is still with there's this coach in France also. I think he's about 20 something years of age that didn't actually have license. That he learned how to coach through is it FIFA 24. I'm trying to remember the club. Probably is it Reims? I think it should be Reims or
Is it
something.
Lens?
But
Lens.
in France, but I don't know if he stayed here. But so far, the Brighton manager is probably one of the youngest in the Europe top 5 league.
And Brighton on the attack right now. We've tried to find space in the box, but the ball is being shielded. But still, back to Minte, who will run into space, but couldn't keep that one. Gravenberch wins a free kick for Liverpool.
I think Minter should have crossed the ball one time. Look at it. Why don't you try and cross the ball instead of trying to go in between 2 players?
Yeah,
No,
he could have done better by sending the ball into the box, but maybe there's not much presence in the box for Brighton. So free kick to Liverpool, and Alisson will take this one, and he sends it forward down the right, left, and Webster heads it out, and Federico Chiesa with the ball right now. And the referee says that will be a free kick to Liverpool. Van Eyck doing the dirty job for Brighton and Wolves Albion. So Kwanzaa we're playing Konate. Konate back to Kwanzaa. Yes, it's Liverpool trying to dictate the pace of this game. Zubo's live with the ball right now. Returns it back to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, the English international, right there, donning the color of Liverpool. Now he has won the Premier League, and now he will be really happy because at least his career is beginning to spring up the goodies.
Of course, and it's every player's dream. To win the championship in whatever league you find yourself, and for him winning it at this age is a very very good one and a good achievement for him.
Yeah, that's a good one for him. And Liverpool attacking down the right via Bradley. Always set up Mo Salah, drops it up for Bradley, but was deflected off for a throw-in. Throw-in taken quickly on a pass into the box. Oh, blocked off back to the Liverpool player, and it will be a goal kick to Brighton.
Yeah. And I think Liverpool have, actually settled down. You could see the way Liverpool are playing. They are not that in hurry. At the same time, they just want to roll the ball. But you could see Brighton. Brighton just wants to make sure they get something from this game. But because Liverpool are very composed and relaxed, and that's why it's looking very very difficult for Brighton in this game.
But Liverpool are a good side.
They're a good side, like I said, whatever the outcome of this game will not change, the fact that they've already won the league. And you could see they're playing, they're not that in hurry, but once the opportunity comes, they grab it. But for Brighton wants to, this is Brighton's last home game of the season. And at least they wants to make their fans, give their fans something to cheer about. And like I said earlier on, they still have a shot for Europe.
And Liverpool has a chance. Oh.
How did Liverpool not?
How did Bradley not convert that one? Chiesa.
I think Chiesa himself could have, at least, wow.
I think he did the right thing.
But at the same time, he could have taken it, and even Bradley, both of them. Is it
Bradley
trying?
should have done better, not Chiesa. So Chiesa did what is expected of him to do.
But that was a fantastic chance for Liverpool to, double the league there.
And one thing is that the running on Sunday will really be massive because Newcastle is on 66 points, Chelsea 66 points, Aston Villa 66 points, and Nottingham Forest 65 points.
Yeah, we're going to have a very, very, epic final match day. And Manchester City also are now in the conversation because if Manchester City fails to win their outstanding, I think tomorrow, I think they'll be taking on Bournemouth. Yeah, if they fail to win that game, it will be very, very, it will be a very, very serious. It's going to have a very, very serious implication because if they fail to win, though if they get a draw, it's still favorable. But if they should lose that game, I think they will not make the top four.
That is if they lose.
Yeah, if they lose.
They lose against Brighton.
They against Brighton. Yeah, against Brighton. Yeah, if they lose.
Amongst all the 5 teams vying for that spot.
Yeah, if Manchester City should lose against Bournemouth, that means it's not in their hands anymore. If they are in their last match, they can still win it and not make the Champions League. Because if other teams that are playing also wins that game, that means they won't make it.
And looking at it, Chelsea, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea will cancel each other out.
Yeah, and I think you see that game is about some will say it's winner take all, but at the same time, if Nottingham Forest wins that match, both Nottingham Forest and Chelsea might still not make it to the Champions League.
If what?
Nottingham Forest should win, it might still not qualify.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest might still not qualify.
Because the goal difference
Yeah, the goal difference there is massive.
So Nottingham Forest needs to win and hope that either Aston Villa, Man City, and Newcastle, either one of them
Drop
drop
point.
point.
Yeah, their destiny is not in their hands.
So Chelsea know what to do. Is for Chelsea to win, but Nottingham Forest first of all they need to win and hope that the
The
other
other
teams do them a
fixtures go
favor.
their way. Hmm.
Same,
So
same as Man City, because if they fail to win against Bournemouth, they will still be on I think seventh or sixth where they are now, which will not be enough.
so it's going to be a never finish. And suppose like with that free kick, take it straight to the wall. And yeah, one player also that is missing today for Liverpool has to be McAllister.
Yeah, McAllister, and I don't think he's even on the bench, and you know, he has been a very very good player for them this season, and probably out injured or part of the rotation for the manager.
I think he's just out to rest or something. And they are not going to the World Club Championship, so
Yeah,
it's not as if they are going there. But it's teams, big teams like Chelsea and Man City that are going for World Club
well,
Championship.
the World Club Cup is to me a bit confusing. The criteria they use in picking,
How?
because I don't know the criteria. If they pick Chelsea for winning the
Your
Champions League,
last performance for the past 5 seasons
then
in the Champions League.
then teams like Liverpool should be there, and
No, your performance.
in the last five
5
seasons.
seasons.
So are you saying the clubs
They
like
won't count this season.
but in the last 5 seasons,
When they
Liverpool
were
have been in
appointing
in
it, it was last season that the slot will be filled for this season. So they won't count the performance of this season.
yeah, take away this season, but in the last 3 seasons, Liverpool were in the final of the Champions League.
Which 3 seasons? Okay, against
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
And
Eh.
and you got there was no time
see,
teams like
listen.
teams like
You-
Salzburg in the last 5 seasons there was no time teams
You
like
have to
Salzburg were in
look
the
at
semi-final.
the league they are in. Chelsea won in 2021 and Man City won also in 23,
Well,
right?
maybe the only reason might be maybe they give each league maybe two slot or one slot. That is where I have to agree. But if you are
Did you
talking
see
about,
any league that has 3 slots?
I don't know. I've not even. What about Italy?
Italy is, I think it's just Inter Milan, and I'm not even sure if
I think there's Juventus there. I think there's Juventus, and I think Juventus is in the same group with Chelsea. I think so. But we just have to confirm again. But the criteria used in picking teams playing in that competition. So we just have to
And I think the competition will be once in 4 years, so thereabout.
yeah.
So when you look at it, so it's big teams like Chelsea and Man City that are going there. Now, if you look at this, Salzburg is going.
Yeah, there's Juventus there. There's Inter Milan there also.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any country that has more than 2 slots.
But there are some countries that are having just one slot also.
Yeah, but
So it's still a bit confusing how they've been able to pick those.
and look at that
teams.
header from Webeck. He couldn't get his header on target. That would have been 1-1 in that one. And you know, UEFA had only 12 slots. So there's a way they measure it. Because because now you see the way this setup is, and well, maybe let's see what will happen at the end of the day. But there's a lot of money up for grabs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now this is what happened. Um, it says the qualification criteria takes note of the past 4 seasons of the Confederation's relevant Premier Club competition, like Champions League, the Continent Champions League, and grant points starting from group stage of the tournament. So the methodology for the new standard has been appointed by FIFA is 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 3 points for progress to each stage of the competition.
So if you look at that, I still think based on what we've just read, I think Liverpool should be there.
It's not finished. And
Oh, that was
oh,
a fantastic goal there from Brighton.
and Brighton just came back. They are back. Ayari with the goal.
Wow.
What a time to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, 32nd minute of that encounter. Liverpool have conceded a goal.
Yeah, fantastic play from Brighton. Fantastic goal.
Let's
also.
see
Oh,
if
is there
that's
offside? Oh. I don't. Well, maybe the first pass, but there's no offside here.
yeah the first
We
touch.
just have to confirm. I think that should be Danny Welbeck. If Danny Welbeck is on offside.
But that was a beautiful finish.
Yeah, and you could see in the Liverpool defenders not quickly coming to close him down there. Fine first touch there, and took the second touch. That was a goal.
And Allison had no chance.
Yeah.
Buried it in the left bottom corner, and Brighton are back. So 33rd minute of that encounter, Brighton 1, Liverpool 1. I don't think VAR needs to really check this one. And
It's game on.
it's game on 1-1 in that encounter. So back to Alonso right there, who set it straight to Bradley, who finds Konate. Allison tries to pick up his teammate. Oh, Welbeck could do better from that.
Yeah. He actually saw the keeper, the goalkeeper out, out of the goalpost there, and he wants to chip it, but
Yeah.
that was a bad way to, chip the
That was
goalkeeper.
not the best finish he could get from that attempt. And we can see Van Dijk warming up already, and Jones also warming up. And this one. And the ball is set back to Verbruggen. Minte with a touch to X. And Swift touches with the ball. And yes.
Oh, this should
And
be
this is
another.
an attempt from Adingra,
Wow.
but his shot was blocked. right there.
Wow. Brighton almost gotten another good here, and Liverpool are just uh, Brighton are just going so easily now against them. No.
You know, the funniest part is the funniest part is when the FA Cup final had not been played, the teams below were all trying to get to the eighth position. But now, there's no hope again.
Well, their chances of qualifying is very very slim, and but Crystal Palace makes life difficult for anybody that's going to end number 8, and even the team that will end number 7 might not even go to the Europa League, might end up in Conference League.
Not might, will end up in the Conference League.
Because
Except
I don't know if there's
if it's except if it's
they
Chelsea.
can't have 3 teams in the Europa League
They can. They
because Crystal Palace are there already. If Chelsea fails to make it to the Champions League and they still won the Conference League, that means they will go to
can. Yes, that's why Champions League we have 6 from Premier League.
Okay, let's just, that means there's possibility that the team in 8th position might go to the we just have to be very sure, because if Chelsea finish, there's also possibility Chelsea might finish on 7th on the log, and if they finish 7th on the log and they win the Conference League,
many Chelsea fans will reply you spiritually.
no, we are just we are looking
I'm
at the
just saying,
scenario,
I'm just saying, yeah.
because I just want to be sure if they can if England will be having 3 teams in the Europa League, because if Chelsea wins the Conference League, that means automatically they've qualified for the
Europa League.
same as Crystal Palace. And what of if they finish 7th on the log?
They will go to Europa League. That's what I'm telling
So
you.
the team that finished, what about the team that finished 6th?
Maybe it's still a possibility. Because even if Chelsea gets through to Champions League, Chelsea can still choose which one to compete in, either Europa League or the Champions League.
I don't think Chelsea
If
will
Chelsea
want
wins the
to.
Conference
I don't think they will choose to drop to the lower league.
with
That's
Chelsea,
it's not about even if it's what they call it, Southampton, they will still choose the one that will generate more money for them.
yeah, that's it. But some will choose Europa League for
I don't think there's any club that wants
less
to choose.
tougher competition and mouth-watering cash.
It's still the same, because even the Europa Leagues is even more. It's the same as even the number of matches, and in fact you tend to travel to unknown countries when you play Europa League than the Champions League, because you see teams from Cyprus in the what they call it Europa League, but you hardly see them in the Champions League. You travel to Andorra, Malta, Gibraltar.
But you know that more of those teams now are just it's Conference League that they are.
But you still see at least one of those clubs from Kazakhstan, like that one Chelsea traveled to, is in Noah.
Noah.
Far
Armenia.
away. Talking about teams from Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan rather, Astana.
But sometimes Astana do play Champions League. I think they've played one season before.
Well, it's very rare.
Very rare, yeah. So Brighton attacking right now via Dungra, attacking down the left. Drops it for Estupinan. And yes, it's Brighton with the ball right now around the box. 39th minute of that encounter it is. And Brighton trying to dictate the pace of the game. Straight to Estupinan, back to his teammate Webster, who will find Eck with the ball moving forward. Set it straight to his teammate UEFA. UEFA with the ball right now will try to pick his teammate also. Baleba straight to Webster, and Baleba set a pass, but the pass was blocked right there. So it's still Brighton 1, Liverpool 1 in this one. And the journey to the Golden Gloves looks like Alisson will not be part of that journey.
No, it's between Marseille and Marseille of Nottingham Forest and the Arsenal goalkeeper, what's his name? David Raya, and there's probability that or possibility both of them might still share 8.
They got
Yeah, so they just need to keep clean sheet, both of them, in the last game. And for what's his name? The Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. It will be very difficult because you are playing against Chelsea, who might
Chelsea,
score.
yeah, that
So
wants to
and
go
even
to Champions League.
I was talking to a friend yesterday. I won't be surprised if no, David Raya concede against Southampton.
But I don't think Southampton will get a goal.
They might. Those are
I
the kind
don't
of
think so.
games that
I
uh,
don't think
you
so.
know. Well,
I disagree. Because when you look at it, even the game they played against Man City, they were all defending, and Arsenal is better than Man City.
but against Arsenal in the first leg, they scored about 2 goals in that game.
That is the first leg, not right now. Right now, they are seriously deep in form, and the morale is not there because they are already out of the Champions League. So Gravenberch with the ball right now, set it straight down the left for Gakpo to chase. He keeps this one in play. Good job, and yeah, that Brighton defender did a good job on him right there. Still Liverpool back in possession. Kwanzaa tackled dead by Welfare, and there's going to be a throw in to Liverpool. 41st minute, approaching the 42nd minute of this encounter. It's still Brighton 1, Liverpool 1. Shimishkash said the throw is straight to Zoboslai, who set it up for Ryan. And Ryan had that tackle off Baleba that will be a free kick to Liverpool. It looks like gradually glory days are returning to Anfield after that long 30 years wait.
Yeah, and I think in the last 5 seasons now they've won the league now twice now, and
They are the only ones. They are the only one that dispossessed Man City of the title.
yeah, they won it after Manchester City already won it. That was I think 2020, and
Yeah.
they won the is it the 2021? Yeah,
2020
and
they won.
they before Manchester City took over again, and they were able to stop Manchester City this time around. And come next season, I don't know if Manchester City will be able to win the league again, but to me it's going to be a very difficult season for Manchester
But
City,
you know
depending
one
on.
thing, Man City will recruit.
Yeah, but if you look at the Manchester City team right now, there's a lot of work to be done with that team. I think they need to me about up to 6 players, and you can't compare the last 3-4 seasons they've been winning the league. They are, once they want to bring in players, just maybe 1 or 2, but now they're going to bring up to 4 or 5 players. So
But we saw them bring that in that second season of Guardiola, and they won. And Salah with a chance, his shot was blocked by Stupinan, and it will be a corner kick to Liverpool at the 43rd minute of that encounter. 2 minutes to the halftime. To halftime right there, and let's see who will take this one home at the end of the day, or maybe the spoils will be shared as it is. So now is the time. Corner kick taken, and Verbruggen takes that one easily right there. So Brighton attacking down the left. Adingra with the ball, draws it for a stupid now with a low cross, but was blocked by Elliott right there. So Stupinan will start play with a throw-in. Returns it back to his teammate Webster, and yes, it's Brighton trying to dominate the champions, Liverpool Football Club, the most successful team in England as it is right now.
Definitely, in terms of the number of total trophies they've won, I think they've overtaken Manchester United by one trophy now. And to me, they are the most successful.
Oh my goodness, that was a good chance for Brighton, and they calmly wasted it.
Yeah, that was too easy for the Liverpool goalkeeper. They're talking about the Brazilian Alisson there, but Brighton could have done better there.
Yeah, Brighton could have
I
done
think it
better.
was there was a deflection on
Yeah.
it. At the same time, he wasn't sure of what to do. You could see the is it Adengra there, telling him to drop the pass, but he decided to go. But the deflection made it easy for the Liverpool goalkeeper there.
So free kick to Liverpool at the edge of the box. 45 minutes gone. We are waiting to see. And the referee says 1 minute additional time. What we'll be waiting for. And I think that 1 minute was the right call for the referee. Time wasn't really wasted.
Yeah, there was no much time wasted in this game apart from maybe the celebration during those between during those time both Liverpool and Brighton scored.
So quickly taking across into the and it's a goal!
Dominic Soboslai.
Zoboslai just made it 2 for Liverpool at the stroke of half time. And Brighton will have themselves to blame for this. How did the goalkeeper let that one in?
Yeah, we just have to look at the replay again. And the goalkeeper is down. I think he's in pain. Oh, is there a deflection there?
I don't think so.
So what's the goalkeeper thinking or what?
Wow.
That was a bad goalkeeping from the goalkeeper, and I think Soboslai wanted to cross that ball. I don't think he was going for goal direct.
It will have to be the one to comment on that because those kinds of balls sometimes
Because,
you look at the post and you do as if you want to cross the ball out just to deceive the goalkeeper. So
Well,
that's why I said
that was a
only him
great goal
can
from him, but
answer
the
that.
Brighton goalkeeper needs to account for that goal.
For sure, I think the Brighton coach will question the performance of the goalkeeper towards that goal.
Yeah, and half time, and when we think Brighton are beginning to get into the game, I think they've been the better team in the last 10 minutes before this goal came in now because after Liverpool scored, they were able to come back into the game, dominated, and had a lot of chances also to to have scored, but them conceding this goal and this is the worst possible time for any team to concede a goal.
Yeah, when you're going
The
through
last
that,
kick of the game.
it's mostly really painful. So for the bookies that went for the 3+ goals, the winning half, yeah, it's done and dusted for Liverpool winning the half. And look at how happy Elliot was celebrating with
Yeah.
Alice.
And to be honest, even the goal scorer himself and most of those Liverpool players, to be honest, they are all surprised. That ball went in with the way the goalkeeper.
He
uh,
fumbled it.
I don't even understand. I need to still look at the replay again to be very sure what the goalkeeper was trying to do there.
Even me, I don't understand why the goalkeeper didn't save that one.
At first I thought there was a deflection there that took the ball, but there was no deflection.
Maybe he underestimated that ball.
Yeah.
Or maybe Zoboslai successfully deceived him. So it's half time at the Brighton and Wolves Stadium. It is Brighton 1, Liverpool 2 right there. Two goals scored by Elliot and Zobozlai. And Ayari is the only one man that's got the goal. That brought Brighton back into that encounter. So now your first half take on this encounter so far.
Yeah, I think it has been a very fair game in terms of how both teams have played, and I think after Liverpool got that goal in the night, the goal they got that was I think in the 9th minute there, and they actually switched gear, and they were not playing like the Liverpool and Brighton actually took control, and were able to get the goal, and they had opportunity also to get other goals, but they couldn't convert there, and Liverpool got the second goal, and that was the last kick of the first half. But to me, in terms of how both teams have played, I think it has been a fair game from both teams.
Yeah, it has been a fair game for both teams so far. And if you were the Brighton and Wolves coach, what would be your pep talk ahead of this second half, coming from the fact that they considered that disappointing goal?
Well, I think there's still a lot of positivity for Brighton in this game. They considered first and equalizer, and the manager will be looking at that. We can still get back into the game. We just have to be very careful. And looking at how they considered that, second goal, even the first goal, they just need to work on it, and probably make some changes at the back. And you could see Lewis Dunk is not on the field. We might be seeing him coming up in the second half. He just needs to tell the guys to just keep their head cool, and also be clinical in front of goal, because we saw the chance they got. That was in I think in the 45th minute. If they had converted from that one, I don't think Liverpool would have gotten this goal they scored. So the manager needs to talk to the players, and tell them to be very calm. You've gone behind in this game before, and you were able to come back. Now you've gone behind again, so you can still come back, and and look at how they play in the next first 10-15 minutes. If they've not gotten any good, then you start looking at the bench, and I think there are some big names there on the bench for them to call on.
Looking at it, Liverpool getting that goal towards the dying embers of the first half will be a more Liverpool getting that goal at the death of the first half will be a morale booster for the coach.
Yeah.
And if you were the coach, what would be your pep talk for the team ahead of the second half?
Well, I don't think Liverpool manager needs to say more, a lot in this game, because and they've already won the league. They're also leading, and like I said earlier on, that this is Brighton conceding that goal, that dying minute is the worst possible time for any team to concede, and it's also the best time for any team to get a goal, because for Liverpool that's the best time also, taking the lead into the second half. And I think it will be a very tough one for Brighton, because Liverpool in the second half they will be even more stronger than this first half, because you look at that, still a lot of their best players that are out on the bench there that might be coming out also in the second half. So for Liverpool manager, you just tell the boys, just continue to do what you've done in the first half. That's all.
So it's Liverpool leading 2-1 at the Brighton and Hove home ground right there. And look at that goal from Ayari. What is your take on that build-up? You have to give it to the young man. That finish.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play. The first touch, was very very fantastic. And the second one, he had to take the ball beyond the Liverpool goalkeeper, and including Danny Welbeck. Kudos to Danny Welbeck. That's first of all, start with the movement there before the ball went to, I think, what's his name again? Gruda, who dropped that pass, and the goal scorer Yari. The first touch was very lovely, and the composure also to put the ball beyond the Liverpool goalkeeper was also top notch.
Yeah, you have to give it to the composure in front of goal of Ayari. He did a very good job for that one. And yes, looking at Bradley, his performance so far in the first half, especially with that assist for the first goal. Would you say that Liverpool have the replacement for Arnold already?
Well, he's capable of replacing Trent Alexander-Arnold, but at the same time, with the rumors we've been hearing,
No rumor. He's coming this week to get his medical done.
well, as far as he hasn't signed, still wants to maintain that, because we've seen a lot of players. We've seen players even done medical at the same time. It
You
didn't
can
end
say
up.
the deal is not closed yet,
You're
but
not
this
close.
one is
Well,
no longer a rumor.
We're not close, but I don't think they will have to pay.
Rumor is something that is unconfirmed,
Yeah,
but
but
this one is confirmed.
well, I don't think Liverpool will pay that amount for Jeremy Frimpong to come and sit on the bench. I think the plan is for him to be the starter, while Conor Bradley continue to be the backup. Though he's also capable. We've seen him play a lot of matches for Liverpool with the absence of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But I think he himself will be very disappointed, because he would have thought that he would be the starting player. Then Liverpool will have to bring on somebody that will come and deputize, for him. But now he's going to be the one that will be deputizing for Jeremy Frimpong.
But if you look at it, for the biggest of the biggest club, the best thing is to bring competition to every aspect of the playing pitch, every wing right there. And it's not like Frimpong is sure of the shirt already.
Well, I think he will. It now depends on if he now fails to perform. Yeah. If
There
he
will be
fails to
competition
perform.
in that wing. There will be competition. And Bradley is not bad.
That's what I'm saying. That to me, he wants to feel a bit disappointed that he would have been looking at, in his mind. He would have thought that Liverpool would bring somebody not in the caliber of Frimpong. Probably look for someone similar to him also. Then they battle it out. But to me, Frimpong, we know Frimpong is very good attacking going forward. Defensively, that's where I don't really know if he's that good. But when it comes to joining the attack, Liverpool wants to replace player like Trent Arnold with something similar to him, because going forward also Arnold is good. Going for defensively, that's where Arnold usually have issue. I think
Well, it
Frimpong
looks
also.
like Frimpong is a lot better defensively compared to Arnold.
Yeah, a bit.
If
a
you
bit,
check him
a
out,
bit, a bit.
especially with
Yeah,
the
no,
Netherlands national team.
defensively, I think it's better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. But overall, I don't think it's the best. When it comes to defense, when you talk about defensive right back.
Now, what is Arnold?
Well, Arnold is a right back.
What is his primary duty on
Is
the
to
field?
defend.
Then defensively, if it's found wanting compared to Frimpong, and you are telling me that Trent all-rounder is better than Frimpong.
I'm not saying all right. What I'm saying that going forward, because we know Trent Alexander-Arnold going forward, it gives you much than it gives defensively.
Yeah, he gives more than, but that doesn't mean that is his primary duty.
That is what I'm saying. That Liverpool just wants to match, look for a player similar to what's his name, Alexander Arnold. Because defensively, I think Conor Bradley is even better than Arnold when it comes to defensively.
So, anytime from now, the players will be walking back to the field to give us that exciting second half of that encounter Brighton against Liverpool. And don't forget, on Wednesday, it will be that showdown between two English giants, or maybe one giant and one quarter to giant. Tottenham.
No, I think both of them are giant. As far
They are
as
not giants.
you know what I'm saying. As far as they still
Tottenham is
consider
not a
Tottenham
giant.
and Manchester United to be
Tottenham
part of the
is
top
not
six.
a giant. When you talk about giant, giant has to do with a lot of success.
Well, it
Tottenham has
depends.
not really
But
been
you know, when it comes to England, they still consider them as part of the top six.
They can be one of the contenders for the top six. They are not even in the top six right now.
But they still consider them to be.
If you look at the top six, now for you to, now let me ask you, count your own top six in England now.
Well, based on the log, I have to go with the the teams on.
Your top six, yours.
Well, at the moment, I don't want to be sentimental. Based on how teams have performed this season, I want to my top six will still be based on how.
You can't just sample it for this season. You have to sample like last 5 years till now.
That
You
means
mix it up.
that means you have to bring Tottenham and
No, I
Manchester.
said list your own
Then,
top six.
then Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U, and Tottenham Hotspur.
What about Aston Villa? What about Newcastle? Newcastle has gone to the Champions League. How many
Once.
seasons now?
Once.
How
Aston
many
Villa
seasons
once.
has Tottenham gone in the last 5?
I think they've been there for like 2-3 seasons. It was even Arsenal. They were not there for like Arsenal is just going for the second time in the last 5 seasons now.
Not second time.
This is second time.
Just went for this is the
Second time.
How many second position has Arsenal got in? 2.
Two.
No, they are okay, but they are going for the third one.
Yeah.
They just finished. Don't say you said you are just going for the second. That was
I
what?
mean, no, they just finished the
said they
second.
just
Yeah, I mean,
finished the
the last
second,
5 seasons.
In the last 5
So, and I
seasons.
think Tottenham have been there for like probably 3 seasons or more.
I don't think it's up to 3.
It's up to. It was even maybe teams like Tottenham and Manchester United should even be the same.
Because if you check, look at it, the last 5 years. Last season, Tottenham didn't go to the Champions League. 2 seasons ago, I don't think they went.
Last season.
Yes, they were not in the Champions League.
They were not in under their former manager before. What's his name? The guy
Conte.
from is it Conte that left them last? Pochettino.
Conte left them sooner than Pochettino. Pochettino was the first to be asked after staying 5 years. So when you look at it,
No, I think Tottenham have been in the Champions League in the last 5 seasons. In the last 5
I
seasons,
don't think it's
they've
more
played
than
up to-
once.
No, they played more than once because this season was the the only season now Aston Villa is playing in the Champions League in the last 5 seasons.
Yeah,
And I could remember, is it 20? There was a time Manchester United was not even playing Champions League. That was under before the season before C. Ronaldo joined them.
but it was Chelsea, Chelsea, Man City, and which other?
There was
two teams?
Tottenham there.
That's what I'm trying to say. For the past 5 seasons, I don't think Tottenham has gone more than once.
No, they've been.
That's what I'm
Even,
trying to say.
in the last 5 seasons, they lost the final also.
No, not last 5 seasons. They lost the final in 2019.
Is it
or
okay? Yeah,
2018.
2019. The season Chelsea won the Champions League. I think there was Tottenham there.
That might be the only one.
But we'll just have to confirm it. But
Well, let's see.
yeah.
So, second half proceedings have started in that encounter. Yes. The showdown is going down. At the Amex Stadium, the home ground for Brighton and Wolves Albion, right there in England. So, Brighton, talking about Brighton, you just have to commend the way the club has been run for some time now, the stability that the club has achieved over time.
Well, I think they've gone down the radar because if you look at how they've been performing in the last probably 4 seasons, one would have thought, they should be among the teams, trying to break into the top four, like the way Aston Villa and Newcastle, have been pushing the last 2 seasons, because we saw the progress on the Brighton were making right from the days of the former is it Potter? What Potter?
Yeah, Graham Potter.
Graham Potter. Even when he left them, I think they had
De Zerbi.
De Zerbi. You could see they were, but suddenly now they falling, down the pecking order, and as a result of them even selling, most of their players also. Every season they do sell probably their best players, so it's becoming an issue for them. And they have a new manager, a very young manager, and so far
Ozala.
yeah, it has. I don't think he has performed badly, but I think as a whole, Brighton have gone. They've taken probably 2 steps backward from the way they've been.
No,
playing the last 2
will
seasons.
this a 2 step
I think so.
backward?
Yeah,
Because I think in all they've only have they gone to Europe?
they've not.
But De
I
Zerbi
think-
didn't take them to Europe either.
No, they were in Europe under, I think, De Zerbi. Yeah, they were in Europe under De Zerbi.
Yeah, yes, that's what. Okay, once Europa
Once,
League,
Europa League, yeah.
and
Is it Europa? Yeah, it's Europa, not conference. It was Europa League. They were in Europe.
yes, they were in Europa League, and Ozala.
And even when they were not in Europa League, they were you could see that they were pushing higher, beating teams that you don't even know, but not like
yes,
this.
this team has also defeated teams, defeated Chelsea, not just 1-0, 3-0 this season. Brighton, so they've not been bad this season.
Apart from Chelsea, who is in the top 6?
I think they've defeated. If I'm not mistaken, they defeated Newcastle too.
No. Newcastle actually won them.
Because
And if you look at Brighton, the last 10 matches, I don't think they've won up to even up to 4 matches. I'm saying 4, even 3. So this season, it has been a very, very difficult one for them, to be honest. The last 5 matches before this one now, they've only won 2. That is against Wolves and West Ham. They failed to even win Leicester. Leicester City, that all teams have been beaten. They didn't win Newcastle. Newcastle played out. I think Newcastle won them first leg and they played out a draw. Even Aston Villa defeated them. They failed to win Arsenal home and away, and I don't think they didn't win Manchester. What they call it, Manchester City. Even Nottingham Forest. Liverpool won them the first leg also, and Liverpool have even beaten them. I think 2 or 3 times this season, because they played, including the Carabao Cup.
so I'm trying to see. But maybe the conversation will have to tread to talk sport,
Yeah.
because it's a long conversation.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a preview of every teams that participate this season.
And that was a good free kick from Welbeck. Alisson had to go with a strong right hand to parry that one for a corner kick to Brighton.
Wow, that was a top save from Alisson, because the goalkeeper was almost going the other side, but he had to quickly react there.
So corner kick to Brighton. Taken into the box. Long one. Welbeck header blocked. Follow-up shot blocked. And Gross with the ball right here. He will shoot. Alisson grabs that one easily. Looking at the way he struck that ball compared to the way Alisson grabbed it,
It was very easy for Alisson.
it looked like it looked like
straight to him.
not really like straight to him, but it looked like it was a tough attempt. But the way he grabbed it was something else. So Brighton attacking with the ball right now, and that's a foul against Oboslai, the second goal scorer in this encounter. Ayari dribble past him and they had to push him off the ball. So free kick to Brighton at the 52nd minute of this encounter. It looks like Brighton are going to really attack against Liverpool all out.
Yeah, and you could see the second half. They try to, see if they can get something, and they, actually come out against this Liverpool. And to be honest, Brighton are not a defensive. I don't know Brighton to be a team that defend. They also play. There was a time they play high line also. They like attacking and playing from using their wingmen to play. And I think they wants to come out, and see if they can get an equalizer and probably go ahead and get the winning in this game.
Well, let's see if they will get the winning or maybe come back in this one. So 2-1. Liverpool leading in this encounter. Goal scored by Elliott and Zoboslai. Then Ayaris got the only goal that Brighton has in this encounter, and the long ball forward for Liverpool player to chase, and that will be a foul. Gakpo needs to be careful with the way he's going into these kinds of challenge.
Yeah, and he thought, wow, he clearly pushed the Brighton player off the ball there, and that's why the referee saying that was a foul. And
so Liverpool attacking down the right via Musala, drops it up, and Kiesa's shot was blocked. I think Kiesa could do better from there, but Brighton will counter attack again. Was intercepted by the Liverpool player. And Elliott set it up for Cody Gakpo, who will run into the box with the ball on goal, drops the pass, and Salah missed.
Oh my word. How did Mo Salah not convert? Or is there offside there?
Let's see. That's not an offside. How did Salah miss that one?
That was a sitter. Well, it's Mo Salah. Nobody's going to complain if it were to be Darwin Núñez. You won't be surprised.
No, but that's well, in football you miss some and you score some.
Yeah, but if Darwin Núñez misses this one, I won't even, I won't be surprised. I just, have to, where is Darwin Núñez? Darwin Núñez doing Darwin Núñez thing. But, Mo Salah.
Yeah, still saying ha.
Yeah, but I'm not going to bash him because, it's Mo Salah.
I think he's the
highest goal
scorer, not joint.
No, not joint.
So it's, I think he has done enough for Liverpool since Liverpool got ousted from the Champions League. He has not really been that Mo Salah that we knew.
I don't think he has even scored in the last 4 games for Liverpool. I'm just trying to remember. I'm not sure if he has scored in the last 4 games for Liverpool.
He has not been that consistent.
So far, even in this game, he has not really been himself. We've not seen much from him.
Yeah, look at the chance he lost. That was a big chance. Adingra with the ball finds his teammate, a cross into the box. That would be a goal kick to Liverpool. Too much weight on that cross for Minton to connect. And goal kick it will be for Liverpool Football Liverpool Football Club. Look at Gakpo. Good first touch. Runs into the box and drops it for Mo Salah. And Mo Salah missed that.
But that's unbelievable miss from Mo Salah.
It has happened now, it's believable. So throwing to Brighton. Adingra trying to check if he's not bleeding right there. So throwing, taken quickly, Baleba with the ball right now, send it straight to his teammate. His teammate will drive the ball And Ayari dribbles past two, drops the pass, sends it straight for Adingra to run with the ball, and he cuts back, and a cross. Minte controls it again in the box, a cross, headed out by Konate. And Liverpool, so offside call against Brighton in the build up to that attempt, and it will be goal kick, free kick to Liverpool as it is. And Brentford is on 55 points and Brighton on 55 points.
Yeah, and this could have been an opportunity for Brighton, to go clear at least 3 point clear of Brentford, but they lost same as Brentford also.
Oh, that was a good attempt from Gross, but his attempt went off target right there. Look at that ball. Cuts back and he shoots. Oh, that was not a good finish.
But I still feel Brighton can still get a go in this game with the way they are playing, and it's same as Liverpool.
So Liverpool attacking down the right via Bradley. Switch to Elliott, straight to the left hand side of the attack. Liverpool still with the ball. And that Brighton player has gotten dispossessed of the ball, but the referee says it will be a free kick to Brighton. When you look at this game very well, Gruda is really being the pain in the ass for Zoboslai.
Yeah, he has been the one, running in the midfield there for Brighton, and he has been very good in this game.
So Stupinan attacking down the left, and he gets the pass, a cross into the box, and Baleba with a chance. Alisson saves. And it will be a corner kick to Brighton. Look at that beautiful build-up play. Drops it off, one touch, and Baleba slips before getting an attempt on that one.
Is it the goalkeeper or the player that
I think it's the goalkeeper. I think it's the goalkeeper. That goalkeeper threw his body in line. And the corner kick taken, parried out by Alisson. Still Brighton with the ball. Oh, beats his marker. And he will shoot. I think it took too much time before taking that attempt.
Yeah, too much time on the ball. It could have.
The way it beats Chimishkash. And the Liverpool coach is about to introduce Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz to have a feel of the action. 1 hour of football played already. It is still Liverpool leading 2-1.
Yeah, Liverpool leading 2-1, and they've gotten another opportunity to have increase their lead, but Mo Salah missing from a close range there, unable to just tap in the ball at the back of the net. But Brighton also, they've come closer to scoring thanks to the Liverpool goalkeeper, who has been fantastic in this second half.
And Adrian trying to run down the left, but he couldn't keep up with the motion he applied right there. So that will be a goal kick to Liverpool. More or less like a wasted effort.
Yeah.
So Kwanzaa takes it straight to Alisson, and Liverpool trying to build up from the back. And Zoboslai will run down the right with the ball. Drops it off for Mo Salah. Kakpo will shoot. But his shot went way off target.
But that was a neat. You look at how Liverpool, from the back, moved the ball there and,
But another conversation is how Ajax lost the league 4 games or 5 games to go after topping with 9 points.
well, I think the best team actually won the
Eredivisie.
the Eredivisie. And if you look at it, if Ajax had won that Eredivisie, I think the PSG manager would have been sacked because as at December or January, they were leading Ajax with about that same 12 points. Suddenly, they but they dropped the 12 points, and Ajax was now even topping them again with 12 points. And you just needed the last 5 game matches. You needed to win just 2. They needed I think 6 points or 5 points rather.
They needed 5 points.
5 points from your last 5 games. And how do you win? Get 5 points. If they have even drawn the whole 5, you still win the league.
No, if they drawn the whole 5, they won't.
No, they needed 5 points to win the league. So if you draw the 5, you win it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. No, it's 5 games. They
From
needed. No. They didn't need 5 points. They needed 7 points.
No, not up to that.
They needed 7
It
points.
was
They are topping with 9 points, not 12 at that stage.
9
It was
points.
9 points, not 12 points.
And you have 5 game left. That's 15 points. If you take away 9 from 15, you have 6 points left.
But if they
they needed to win at least 2 games from the 5
and
games.
draw 1. If they lost the other 3, they'll be on same point with PSG, and goals difference will matter.
Right, they actually, and if you look at the teams they played in the last 5 those 5 games, they were not the toughest teams.
They lost to Utrecht.
The most annoying one was when they failed to defeat is it NEC?
Yes, at home. And they lost
NEC defeated 3-0. I think they drew 1-1 with is this Spartak Rotterdam also?
And Mitoma is now up for Adingra. And I think Liverpool should be careful.
I think Mitoma, we know what Mitoma in the past have cost Liverpool a lot of pain. I think it should be, is it last season or this season? Against it should be last season. We saw how he tormented Gomez. And also, Liverpool making double substitution. Also, Nunes and Diaz coming in for Chiesa and Gakpo.
Yeah.
And including Jones also coming on for Soboslai. That's a triple substitution from Liverpool.
So, game on in that one. 20 minutes of football played in this second half already. It's still Liverpool leading 2-1. And Liverpool has the ball around the box. We try to find time and space to shoot. Set it straight to his teammate. Drops it off for Rian. Now Rian will try to shoot, but his shot was blocked by Baleba right there. Mitoma chased, but Konate got there before him. Straight to Mo Salah. Drops it back for Kwanzaa. And Liverpool are still in cruise control. And Shimishka's really cross, but headed out by the Brighton defender. Now, looking at it, for you, the running, which 2 teams do you think will drop out at the end of the day?
Well, it's very very difficult to call now, to be honest. But if you look at how the last game, the opponents, of those teams now, because first of all, Manchester City will be taking on. I think it should be Brighton
Last game of the season.
for Manchester
Fulham.
Fulham rather, and they'll be playing away from home. And Manchester City, they've not been convincing
Yeah.
this season. And we saw Brighton here, just
And
crossed
Mo
the
Salah
ball.
will attack, sends the ball to his
Actually,
teammate.
Ah,
Oh, Bradley. Mo Salah.
gosh,
Oh. My God. Mo Salah.
crossed the ball on time. And how did they not score from this?
Oh, that was a brilliant inflex from Verbrugge.
Wow. Lot of commotion there, but kudos to the Brighton goalkeeper there, Verbruggen there.
Yeah.
So,
kudos
so
to
talking
him.
about the last game, with Manchester City taking on Fulham, and we are against Fulham, and the Fulham will be at home
At the Craven
at
Cottage.
Craven Cottage. There, they want to give their fans something to cheer about also. But on paper, you look at it, that Manchester City will definitely win that game. But not with this Manchester City we've seen this season. They've not been consistent. At the moment now, you can't call, their game, but they will still be the favorite, to win that game. So you now look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa is playing against Manchester United away at Old Trafford, and we know Manchester United this season they've been very 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 poor. But I think if Manchester United wins the Europa League on Wednesday, I think Aston Villa will definitely win them. But if they fail to win that game, they want to at least give the fans, something to cheer about at Old Trafford, even if it's a draw. But with the way they've been playing, I don't think they will be able to stop Aston Villa. But it's still going to be a very difficult game for Aston Villa.
And Newcastle will be
And
at home to Everton.
Everton. So if you look at the among the old 4-5 teams now, you want to say Newcastle have at least the easiest of the fixture, because they'll be at home, playing. Their fans will be able to back them. But now we are the other game now between Chelsea and Nottingham.
And Brighton just equalized. Mitoma came in and they finished off that rebound. 78 minutes it is. Brighton are back in this one. 2-2. It is right now.
Yeah, and it's one player that knows how to torment Liverpool also,
Yeah. Look at
Mitoma.
right time. The attempt, Alisson saved it, and Mitoma. And look at the way he took that rebound. He did very well. He was the one who dropped the pass, and he arrived in the box on time to do the finish.
Kudos to Welbeck also, taking that shot there, and the Liverpool goalkeeper, couldn't, parry that one far enough for. But Mitoma coming on to, and it wasn't an even easy goal from Mitoma.
It wasn't. He had to be technical with the attempt, and he executed it very well. And Brighton are back into this one.
Yeah.
Now, can we say super sub?
Right, at the moment, it's a super sub. Earlier on I said it that the way I'm looking at this game, Brighton will definitely score now, including Liverpool, because you look at the way Brighton have been playing this second half. They've gotten opportunity to score, but which they've not taken. Now they've taken it, and they might even go ahead and win the game.
So, 71st minute in that one. Liverpool 2, Brighton 2 at this point in time. Maybe we'll still see more goals in this one.
We might, because both teams, are trying to, go against each other.
And Brighton with the ball. Minte set it up and across. Alisson had to come out to get that one. and got it easily right there in that one. So on the second minute of this one, it's still Brighton 2, Liverpool 2. Yes, if it ends like this, the spoils will be shared at the Amex Stadium. So you are yet to give me your two teams that you think will drop out.
Well, to be honest, my own biased opinion, or you want me to be biased also?
I'm telling you that be just your own prediction.
Well, if I want to go based on how the teams have been performing lately now, and based on their last games, I think Nottingham Forest will definitely will be out because they've not been consistent in the last 5 matches now. They've only been able to win. I think that was the last match they played now against West Ham, a very poor West Ham. So and they'll be playing against the Chelsea teams that have been. I think they've been better than them in the last 5 games now. And though they'll be at home, but I think they might not make it because even before about 4 or 5 match day back, I've called it that I don't think Nottingham Forest will be making it.
So who will join Nottingham Forest according to you?
Well, realistically, I think it will be Manchester City, Newcastle, and Chelsea. Aston Villa might win what they call it, Manchester United, but it might not be enough because of the goal difference. Those 3 teams I've mentioned, the goal difference are they have a very good goal difference compared to Nottingham Forest and what they call them now, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. So you think goal difference?
We come into play because when you have about 4 or 5 teams now, 1 point separating them, so goal difference will definitely come into play. Because I think at the end of the day, we might be seeing 2 or 3 teams still having the same point, but the goal difference will now have to separate them.
Well, looking at the table right now, Aston Villa has a +9.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest has +13.
Compared to Newcastle, Chelsea, and Manchester City.
Newcastle has 22, Chelsea 20, Man City 24.
So
but one thing you need to know that maybe you're not putting your mind on it is, as Nottingham Forest, if Nottingham Forest scores against Chelsea, Chelsea's goal difference will be reducing as much as theirs is increasing.
What I'm trying to say is that, I've said it earlier on, Nottingham Forest might win Chelsea and still not make the Champions League.
Yeah, if the other teams on top of them win their own matches. So it's just a very dicey situation. They will wish they had defeated Leicester City.
That is just
that
the issue.
Encounter. So, Brighton still attacking in this one. And a cross into the box. Follow pedal into the box. Oh. And Diaz will run with the ball.
And the other thing there is that even a draw will not be good enough for any team. You would have even preferred to lose than to draw.
Yeah.
Because
so
there's no difference between draw and lose now.
No, that
you need to win to have any hope of making it.
Because right now Nottingham Forest is in the Conference League position.
Yeah, a draw will not be enough for them.
A draw will not be enough.
So the same thing as Chelsea.
And
the same thing for Newcastle.
So
the same thing for Manchester City.
Most likely we'll be in for an explosive game. But one thing any of those two sides needs to avoid is an early goal.
It depends. If you could score 3 early goals, that would be good for you.
So Salah attacking down the right with the ball, runs into the box. Still Salah. But that was a good challenge from Ek.
I think the Liverpool manager needs to sub Mo Salah because he has not been in this game at all. And he's still only on the pitch because of, because it's Mo Salah.
But there are some players that even on their bad days, they can come really, really good. Especially when you need somebody to score today.
Yeah, and at the they decide to keep him probably because
Oh, that was a good build-up play from Liverpool, but they couldn't convert
wow,
that one.
wait, is that a foul?
I don't know.
I
Maybe
think he
a
won the
try.
ball there, but it should be a throwing. It's a foul. And a yellow card. I think this should be the first yellow card we'll be seeing in this game. Okay, it
Oh,
was the
that's
earlier, yeah.
incident. Yeah, that's a deserved yellow card for Webster.
Yeah.
Yeah, Webster on a yellow card. Endo, we will start play. Elliot has been withdrawn for. Is it Elliot? I think Bradley
Yeah, Bradley.
has been withdrawn for Endo.
So we will not be seeing Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think we will not be seeing him again to play for Liverpool again. You know, with what happened to him against, when he was introduced against Arsenal.
And he was booed.
Yeah, and to me, I think that was very, very shameful from Liverpool fans. Honestly.
Needless.
And I think, if you want to talk about legend, I think it should be considered part of their legend.
Yeah, it's one. It should be
So,
one
but why,
of their
and
legends.
they were booing him. Probably that's the reason now, because I don't see why you are removing Bradley, bringing on Endo when you have what's his name now, Arnold on the bench.
So long ball forward by Verbruggen. Headed down for Welbeck to drop a pass for Mitoma. Mitoma drops
Woo!
it into the
That-
box.
oh
Oh!
Wow!
Oh, that would be an offside against Brighton.
And look at the pass.
That was a beauty. Oh, they just missed that one.
Look at the pass.
They just missed that one. Oh, that
Yeah,
would be
that
an
was-
offside.
yeah.
It would be an offside. It would be an
Look
offside.
at the pass from Mitoma. Wow.
So it's still Liverpool 2. And Liverpool are crossing to the box, but Verbruggen, we grab this one and grab it easily right there. So, 80th minute on the clock right now. Brighton 21 attempts, Liverpool 15 attempts, 10 to 5 shot on target. Brighton 10, Liverpool 5. But Liverpool has managed to convert 2 of their 5 shots on target. You have to talk about how clinical Liverpool has been this season.
Well, and that's the reason why they are where they are, and the reason why they've, won the league. They've taken their chances compared to every other team. And I don't think Liverpool are the team that have created the most chances in the league. It's just that, the ones they've created,
You convert.
they convert it. I think Chelsea are among the teams that have created the highest number
Highest number
of
of chances.
chances. But, the advantage going for Liverpool is that,
And for you now, talking about the Chelsea conversation, that Chelsea has been the number one team that has created the most and didn't convert. Who do you think currently in the world of football can solve that problem for Chelsea? Considering Chelsea has a whole lot of young players that can lose it at any point in a game of football.
You mean talking about bringing on a striker?
Yeah, who in the world of football can fit into that Chelsea
At the
setup?
moment, there are a lot of our strikers now in fine form.
For
you know,
you?
for
Who do you think Chelsea should get and will solve that conversion challenge?
Well, it's very to me. I can't really call now because it depends on how the manager wants to play. First of all, we have to look at how the manager wants to play this season. You see that most times they play from the wing, from the wing. So if you continue to play from the wing, it now depends on how the striker you need. The striker that also wants to drop, to the wing and pick up the ball. But first of all, you have to look at three strikers that are presently in form. Now talking about Isak, Victor Osimhen, and Victor Gyökeres. Or probably you want to add maybe the RB Leipzig striker Sesko and
Now you
Yandela.
are not answering the question.
No, I'm
Who
coming
for
there.
you? Okay.
So what I'm saying is that
That was a good chance parried by Allison right there.
if you ask a lot of probably 70% of Chelsea, if you ask Chelsea fans, which striker will you want to prefer? I want to believe that 80% of them will want to pick Victor Osimhen because of how he plays, how he fights for the ball.
Every ball.
Yeah, but the manager might not be looking like that because Victor Osimhen cannot drop to the wing,
But if you talk about the manager not looking at that, the story came out that last season they analyzed the strikers on the market. The only one that suits the Chelsea system the most was Victor Osimhen, which was why they went in for that negotiation.
But I think if he's the one that suited, then they should have break the bank for him.
But they were busy talking about structure.
So
Salary structure.
this season, with the salary structure not come into effect again now.
And now that's the issue.
So, but to be honest, between if Chelsea can get Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyökeres, or Alexander Isak, I think either of them. It depends. Even anyhow they want to play. As far as they supply them those they create those chances.
Yeah.
I think those guys will get the goal.
But do you think Isak will leave an high-flying Newcastle?
It depends. If Newcastle fail to I've said it earlier. I think I've said it about 2 months ago that if Newcastle makes the Champions League, I don't say Alexander Isak leaving them. But if they don't, progress, make it to the Champions League, then he might be leaving. But with the way Newcastle, I think they will definitely make it to the Champions League. Then I don't think it will now, it will be very, very difficult, for any team to prize him away from Newcastle. And I want to believe he wants to stay and play the Champions League with them also. And if he wants to leave, I don't think he wants to join, another English team. After
Because
Newcastle.
it looks like Barcelona are also interested.
Yeah, after if Newcastle should make it to the Champions League, why would you want to leave to another English team? If he wants to leave, then you have to go to maybe Spain now, probably Barcelona.
But he can leave to a team that can win the league and Brighton on the attack and he cross into the box. But Kwanzaa was there to clear that one. Thomas still attacking with the ball. What can he do? He cuts back and they're placing the run of his teammates. They cross into the box and it's a goal. But that's an offside.
Wow. I think it just came in also.
That's an offside. But I think VAR will check that one. That's okay. Let's see.
Is that offside? Yeah.
This one, I don't think there's off here.
Is this offside?
This is not an offside.
No, it should be offside. Look at the leg. But VAR will have to check this one.
VAR will check. So VAR will check. So let's see what VAR will tell us.
But I think it should be offside. But
at the 86th minute, for our viewers, Brighton just got a goal, but the linesman raised the flag. So VAR is checking if the linesman was spot on, or maybe the goal should be given.
But I think my own opinion, I think it should be offside. But
I don't think it will be that long because of the new technology that the Premier League has adopted. And now they will be biting their fingers that they should have adopted this technology from the beginning of the season. And they have the money to.
Yeah, but how they do their things in England, actually they could have started with it from the beginning of the season, but they decide no, that they want to hold on to in fact they first of all test run it, I think, in the FA Cup.
Yeah, before.
It's a goal.
It's a goal.
Wow.
It's a goal.
So 3-2 to Brighton now. Wow.
It's a goal. So the goal stands for our viewers. Now Brighton are leading 3-2. Wow.
I think it was very close.
Yeah, very. That's why you see, there's no way they will really draw the line to fit this the way the technology has analyzed this.
Well, I think if they have used this technology, the Bukayo Saka goal that was through that.
I know you will remember one Arsenal goal.
No. Against Fulham, that one was very painful. It was like at times, when they draw that line, maybe they purposely at times they will not draw it in a way it looks like it will be offside. At times they draw it, in fact, there's a way they draw that, because that one now, I think this one is better.
That's why they adopted it, obviously. If it's
but
not better,
me,
they will stick with
if they were using that the other format, this ball wouldn't have stand.
No, apart from that, it might, but it would take more time. This one will save time.
That game I was saying, it took them about 5 minutes to decide before they now decide to, and I was sure they don't want to make mistake. At the same time, they don't want to disallow the goal. But at the same time, you still make the same mistake you don't want to make. It took you 5 minutes to decide it was offside. And once you start taking time, that whatever the decision that they will take is definitely going to be the wrong one.
It might not be the wrong.
It's always the wrong one. That's what
I don't agree. It's
taking
not
5, 6,
always.
7 minutes.
It's not always. Sometimes they just need to check and consult and check again. So I think not always.
Well, I think this game is done for Liverpool. First time that Brighton will be taking the lead in this game, and you now be looking back at that Musala chance because if he had scored that, it would have been 3-1. So now, I think Brighton they've deserved the winning with the way they've played in this second half.
And if they win this one, it looks like they will seal the number 8 spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Now they are 3 points.
But if they win this one and lose the last game, and Brentford win, I think Brentford will definitely top them based on goals.
Yeah, based on goals. Yeah, that's true. Ooh. And Brighton survives that scare again.
And they come again.
And they're attacking with the ball again.
Could this be
and they will drop it for you, and he drops the pass, but Liverpool covers up, and that's a proper clear.
Yeah, and I think the introduction of Mitoma really changed the game for Brighton.
Yeah, it really did. I really did. I don't know why the coach had to put him on the bench in the first place. But even Adingra wasn't bad either.
But you could see the introduction of Mitoma. He was.
What you will look at is the right back is already tired. They are not fresh. Mitoma is fresh. So, and if you see a lot of running that Adingra did too in the first half, so it's not bad.
Oh my.
And now Liverpool needs to react as soon as possible. So it's 90 minutes already in that encounter. And Liverpool trailing 3-2 away from home. And there will be 8 whooping minutes to end this one. 8 additional minutes it will be to end this encounter.
Yeah,
wow.
Liverpool surrendering their lead just like the way they did in their last match against Arsenal. Having gone 2 goals up and surrendering the lead. And now this one is now even more different because they're about to lose all 3 points now. But at least they still got 8 minutes to at least get something from the game.
And with the way it is, it's not really visible that they will get something out of this game.
They might. They must still get something.
So Liverpool trailing 3 goals to 2 already in the second minute of additional time. Will Brighton hold on, or will Liverpool come back into this one?
I know the most funny thing is that the goal scorer Eshelwood, he came on in the 84th minute and got the goal in the 85th minute.
Yeah, just a minute later, and it was just an easy tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was at the right place at the right time. So Estupina went back.
And I think the chance Musala missed was even more easier, supposed to be more easier than this.
No, there was a man in front of Musala.
No, behind Musala.
Okay, that other one is the one you're talking about. The other one that he miscued. That one was terrible. There was also one that the man was in front of him.
I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about. That one he missed. There was nobody, emptiness.
That was.
And he played it with his stronger foot.
Even a weak foot will compare that one. I don't know. That's one thing you can't really say whenever a team has nothing to play for again in an encounter. The players, is about mind thing. They can be lackadaisical about. On the norms, if it's a Liverpool must-win game, I don't think Salah will attempt that ball like that, just shabbily. And he just extended his contract with Liverpool.
Yeah.
2 more seasons.
2 more seasons. Same as Virgil van Dijk.
But it's just Arnold that said it's good. And who will blame him when the biggest club in Europe is calling you?
And there's also a report. Real Madrid. What Real Madrid have been doing with a lot of players. They've been grooming those players for like 2 seasons now. And there's a report that he was even supposed to join the same time with the other Englishman, talking about
Jude
Bellingham. So they've had this conversation with Liverpool. And Liverpool were not willing to say, and it was also clear that he doesn't want to renew his contract. So and Real Madrid, they filled his head and using Jude Bellingham to convince him also. So he decided to run out.
But that's a story, not confirmed yet.
That is, to be honest,
that is unconfirmed report.
But that is the main report, and I want to.
Me, as far as I'm concerned, on this show, you have to own what you said. For me, it's an unconfirmed result. But for you, is it confirmed?
For me, it's confirmed because
confirmed
it's actually played that, and that is what we are saying.
And so
now.
you are on your own.
I want
you
to
are the one
since
that
he's playing it out.
Viewers, I'm not the one that confirmed. We know the one that confirmed the story.
And because it's the same pattern now, they want to use with Konate also. Even with also this the Arsenal defender talking about Saliba.
2 years left.
They started talking with those players. Don't sign. And Real Madrid tend to get those players for even cheap and free.
That's what they did to Chelsea. Thibaut Courtois, they had to force tight fist,
including the defender they got from Chelsea. What's his name?
Rudiger went on the free.
How can you be getting those kind of players for free?
That's why they are Madrid. They are the biggest for a reason.
What about Mbappe?
Mbappe is also free. So they know how to do those kinds of business. And who can blame them? When you are the best, you take advantage of being the best. Who will not want to take advantage of their strong position? Because almost every player on earth wants to play for them.
And looking at this now, the ones they pay big money for, they don't tend to give them those value. Apart from maybe Bellingham now.
You can't say apart from. See, most players Madrid has spent money on has come with the goodies. Even Gareth Bale came with the goodies. Even Cristiano Ronaldo.
What about Eden Hazard?
Eden Hazard was injuries.
But they didn't get the value for their money.
It's not every business. Okay, what about Kaka? They also got Kaka for a whole lot of money. While Zidane was performing, Kaka was not performing up to par. So you just have to look at it. Some business can go bad. Chelsea paid 100 million on Lukaku. What handed it? So you can also say that. So, but when you look at it holistically, it is working for the Galactico. I think the main reason why they've slowed down on those things is just FFP. You know, then there was nothing like FFP, but now there's FFP.
But I don't think Real Madrid will, going into the transfer window to get 100 million player pound this.
They
Coming.
just got a defender 50 million.
Then,
Hutchinson.
but looking at Real Madrid now, one would, the area they need to strengthen is probably the midfield, because I think they have a light midfield this season.
And yeah, they
and
are
even
planning
defensively also.
to strengthen,
But-
get in one player in the middle.
They need to sort out
of
their
the
left back
I
also.
think
Left back
Alonso-
and right back.
No, they've sorted right back. Arnold is
Okay,
there
yeah,
already.
but the left back.
But the
because
left back, I don't think they need the left back. They just need their guys to come back from injury. There's this young lad from the academy that really showed class, and there's also I think
is it
Mendy.
Mendy? Yeah, but
Fella Mendy.
yeah.
So, what do you need a 3 left back for?
For the midfield, they need to sort it out. It's they need.
Yeah,
oh,
they will get. According to reports, Alonso has told them one of the position they need strengthening.
and they need to also decide. If Kylian Mbappe will be playing as a number 9, or coming from,
I
because
think
they need a striker also.
That was what really hampered their season this year. They don't have a proper number 9, so the directness of play wasn't there. There's something when Jose Lu comes in last season. There's something he brings to that squad. The directness of play. They playing. That's why you see them coming. But Jose Lu comes up most times in the second half, and you will see a drastic change in the way they play, and they get goals.
Yeah, and at the moment now, they've not been, we've not been hearing them talking about, getting a number 9. And there's also a unconfirmed report about Rodrigo leaving Real Madrid. So we don't know if that will be, possible.
So the game has ended. Brighton won this one 3-2. Polo, your final take.
Well, good game from both team, and from both team, and kudos to Brighton from coming, coming twice in this game to get the 3 points. And for Liverpool, they've already won the league, but I don't think the manager will be happy, them not winning their last 2 games now.
Yeah. So my name is Afola Adeyemi. Thank you for joining us. Join us again on Wednesday. Tottenham, Manchester United, Europa League final on the menu. Till we see you again, don't forget you can only fail if you stop trying. Keep trying until your dream becomes a reality that you can touch and you can feel. So from me and the production crew, it is good night and God bless you.